What's happening, folks? Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. Wanted to jump on and bring you a quick live 10-minute reaction to the news tonight that Joe Hart looks like he's set to sign a 3-year deal to be Celtic's next goalkeeper. This news was broke on Twitter just a few moments ago by Stephen. I say a few moments ago, I mean 35 minutes ago, but listen, in the world of creating YouTube videos, 35 minutes later after news breaks is quite quick, innit? So Stephen McGowan has confirmed Joe Hart is set to sign a 3-year deal, and the medical is arranged for tomorrow. This move has been rumoured for a couple of weeks now, and I think it's one that divides everybody. You can put your comments in the live chat box below. You have to be subscribed if you want to do that. First of all, I think it's good news that we've dealt with this situation. The goalkeeping situation in the last 12, 14 months has been an absolute shambles. Barkas has been a disaster for £5 million when last season and Foster ended up not coming back to the club. We thought we were getting a good goalkeeper in Barkas, £5 million, Greek international, but it's just not worked out, and he's looked really, really amateur at times. And then Bain comes in, and he's no much better, is he? There's hardly any split day two, and you see that error the other night that Bain makes for the goal. I know there's no challenge in the ball, but his positioning is just absolutely all over the place. The ball goes in the centre of the goals, and it's a disaster, really. So Joe Hart coming in, I think, is good news. Now, I know he's not everyone's cup of tea. Joe Hart, he is 34 years old. I can see some comments coming in asking what age he is. He's 34. The deal is rumoured to be worth £1 million from Spurs. As I say, a 3-year deal, and I can see a couple of comments regarding like the 3-year deal. Good bit of business, even if we only get a year out of him and then a fee. Good to see that Ange is working on our weaknesses. Aye, a 3-year deal for a 34-year-old, on the face of it, might seem a bit risky, but 34 is a good age for a goalkeeper. I don't think there's any worries in that regard. Fabrizio Romano also tweeted, which I think is big news, that he's joining a permanent deal for Tottenham. Obviously, we knew that. £15,000 a week, Fabrizio Romano's saying, and he's generally quite reliable. So 15 grand a week is lower than I thought we'd have had to pay him. So I don't think that's as big a risk as it might seem when you first think about it. That's the kind of decision that I wish Fraser Foster would have been willing to make last season, on big money at Southampton. But come to Celtic, play week in and week out, be the number one, for 15, 20 grand a week. But he chose to sit on the bench at Southampton for 60 or 70 grand a week, and hey, who can blame him? But Joe Hart's obviously decided that he wants to come here. He's already made his money at that age. 75 caps for England, I would never have said it. 75 caps for England. I know that he was England's number one for a long time, but 75 caps is a lot. He was obviously at the peak of his powers at Man City before Pep came in and let him go. But I think this is a good move. I think it could be a good move. I know there's an element of risk in it, but I think he's a good goalkeeper. He's much better than what we've got, and that right now is all that matters. And you think about Bain and Barkas and the qualities that they've got, neither of them are good communicators. Joe Hart is very well known to be vocal, to organise his defence. He's going to be demanding of the defenders that are in front of him. And I think if he comes here with the right attitude, works hard, doesn't see a move to Celtic as an easy sort of sidestep towards retirement, I think he'll be a good goalkeeper for Celtic. A good shot stopper. I think the reservations that people have are that he's conceded a lot of goals in his last couple of clubs. Like in the likes of Burnley. I think that was who he made his last Premier League start for, Burnley. But he's been at Spurs for a year or so, and I think he's made a few Europa League appearances. I remember watching Spurs in Europa League last year, and he made a mistake for a long range shot. But I think it could be a good move for us. And as I say, I'm just happy that we've went out and got a deal done for a goalkeeper who's experienced, who's played at the highest level, and who you would think is going to offer us a lot more than the goalkeepers that are currently there. This is one that really splits the supporters. I'm just going to bring up a couple of comments here. Santoy saying very happy with this signing. Chris Dolmeth is bringing up a good point though. What does this mean for Barkas and his future? You would think the club are trying to offload Barkas now. As I say, the deal just hasn't worked out. If we were to sell him permanently, Chris is suggesting Barkas to Pauk on loan. if we were to sell him permanently, we could never recoup the £5 million that we paid for him last summer. And that's another disastrous bit of squad management and disastrous bit of recruitment. Sorry, it's probably the more accurate phrase. Terrible recruitment, but we've got to offload him in some way, because I don't think we can have him, Bain, Hazard still floating about. So I think it'd be best if we can get rid of Barkas. Someone in Greece could take him back. I think his future is decided by this. And as I say, we thought that when Ange came in, Barkas might have been able to dig out some sort of form, but it's not happened. And you think about that first leg against Midtjylland, looked like the time where Postecoglou knew that he couldn't rely on Barkas. And the one hope that I have is that this is truly a signing that Ange Postecoglou is behind, and one that he supported, and one that he was a driving force behind. We've waited a long while to sort out this goalkeeping situation, and we need that stability in the defence. We've still got issues, obviously, all across the back four. I think we need another centre-half. We obviously need a right-back. Fabrizio Romano saying we're still working on Aurelia Buta from Royal Antwerp. So that's been dragging on now, though. That has been a week or two. So we've got to try and get that deal done if he's the man as quick as possible. I think, as I say, a centre-half, a left-back, there's a lot to sort out in that defence, as you can see every time we step out on the pitch. But I think the basic foundation of having a good defence is a solid goalkeeper. And I hope that Joe Hart can be that. I think he's got the ability to be it. And as I say, I know a lot of you have got reservations about him. Bring up another comment, the Kurgan saying he has a weakness at his left hand side and teams know it. That's my worry. He's definitely going to have weaknesses. There's no doubt about that. Another comment, surely Theory was a big risk. You can tell this is splitting everybody. Half he's are saying that's a really good signing that he's delighted with, and half he's are really, really unsure about it. But as I say, I think he's got a lot more to offer than the current goalkeepers we've got. And if he comes, this is the big thing for me, if he comes with the right attitude and works hard, he'll be a good goalkeeper for Celtic. We've seen big players come up for down south, or players who were once big down south come up to Scotland and fail big time. So his attitude has to be right, his approach and his mindset has to be right. But I've got no doubt he can be a good goalkeeper for Celtic. I think it's just good to have some sort of closure and some sort of direction on this. This is a big transfer for us. We had to sort this situation out, and it looks like we're going to do that with Joe Hart. I expect him, if his medical's tomorrow, could he be available for the game against Jablonec on Thursday? I don't know, but you would definitely think he'll be ready to face Dundee at Celtic Park on Sunday. And as I say, you just expect him to go straight in, be the number one, strike up relationships with his defenders, which obviously is going to be changing if we're still bringing in players in that area as well. But the quicker we can get him in, get him accustomed to the team, to the style of play, that's the other thing some people are unsure about. Pep Guardiola let him go supposedly at Man City because of his ability with his feet, his ability to build the game, to pass the ball. But you've got to remember that what Man City are trying to do and the level they're trying to compete at, and the demands of Pep Guardiola are slightly different to what Celtic need, and the level that, okay, Ange does want to play an open style of football, but just because Pep moved him on for Man City doesn't mean that he's an absolute disaster with the ball at his feet. I think he's probably better than Fraser Foster with the ball at his feet, and we've had a lot of talk in the last couple of weeks about how suited or not suited Foster would be to Postecoglou's style. So that will be the big question mark, and we'll only really see how comfortable he is playing in that sort of role that looks like Ange likes his goalkeepers to play in, relatively high when you've got the ball, involved in a lot of the build-up play and starting attacks and passing out to your centre-halves and your full-backs, passing into midfield to the inverted full-backs that we've heard a lot about since Ange took over. So that's to be seen. We will just need to wait and see in that. But I'm just happy that we've got business done, and it looks like we can get some closure with the goalkeeping situation. That's one ticked off the list, and as I say, there's a lot more to be done in that area. In terms of recruitment, we've got a lot more bodies to bring in, but as I say, goalkeeper is the basic one. And if to sum up my thoughts, I'm happy. I'm saying I'm happy with it. I'm not saying he's going to be a roaring success, but he's a good goalkeeper. He's got experience. He's played at the highest level. And as I say, if he comes with the right attitude, I'm sure he can be a good goalkeeper for us. That'll do us for tonight. Thanks for joining us on this live stream. 700 viewers, so I appreciate your time jumping on at short notice. 20 past 10 at night, no bad. Like this video, comment your own thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll be back with more content as the week goes on, and we'll build up to the Europa League qualifier on Thursday as well. Thanks for joining us. Cheers.